Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever felt like you're running on a hamster wheel? Constantly chasing something, only to feel more stressed and, well, less fulfilled.
Hmm.
Or maybe you've looked at global challenges like economic instability or these widespread mental health crises and just wondered if there's a deeper, interconnected root cause.
Right.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into some really thought-provoking material that suggests there might be. And surprisingly, it offers a kind of holistic path towards sustainable well-being, not just for individuals, but for whole societies.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here, especially drawing from one source in particular, insights from a cardiac surgeon who actually became a system analyst,
Wow.
is how they connect these fields that seem so separate. The economy, our personal mental health, the very fabric of our social lives. It's quite a connection.
That's quite a leap from cardiac surgery to system analysis.
It is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the material basically proposes that really understanding our human nature and applying a specific, let's call it an operating system for life, that could be the key.
An operating system.
Yeah, the key to unlocking true balance and prosperity, not just for us now, but, for future generations too.
Exactly. And central to this, it seems, is exploring what you could almost call a multidimensional economy. Something beyond just GDP and financial stuff, and this underlying model for, like, truly sustainable growth.
Right. These ideas aren't always explicitly labeled like 3D economy or DSGM model in every source, but they're clearly foundational.
They're woven through.
Definitely. Suggesting that a really deep understanding of human creativity, our collective consciousness, and a very specific framework for living can build that robust foundation.
It really boils down to creating sustainable human beings within a sustainable socioeconomy. So what does this actually mean for you as we dive in?
Well, let's set the scene first.
Okay. Let's start with the modern predicament. Our sources, they really highlight this striking paradox today. You've got this relentless pace of change. Creativity is suddenly tied to business success like never before.
Bill Gates even said something like,
Yeah, never before in history has innovation offered promise of so much to so many in so short a time.
right. And we've shifted, haven't we, from the old way commodities for money into this knowledge economy.
Or knowledge is different because it grows. It's the fastest growing capital now. Knowledge-rich companies just dominate.
But here's the paradox you mentioned. Despite all this growth, all this information, material well-being, the sources point to an unprecedented increase in psychological clinics, mental health issues, social agitation.
Yeah, violence, crime, suicide rates. It's concerning.
Very. And they even cite Finland, often seen as this model welfare state.
But it ranks top in the EU for mental illness incidents, according to the sources.
Exactly, which leads directly into this concept the sources call the new trinity.
Okay, what's that?
Economy, welfare, and mental health. It's presented as this kind of motivational system that profoundly controls your being.
Controls you? How?
Well, the source argues it's based on fear. Fear of loss, avoiding pain. And this, they say, leads to a kind of slave mentality.
Wow, strong words.
Yeah, makes people easily respond to commands without really thinking. And you see it in what's called deficit madness.
Deficit madness.
Governments borrowing more and more, increasing debt, while asking citizens to invest psychic energy that they're already, frankly, short on.
So the system demands what people don't have.
Precisely. Finland, again, is the example with this welfare growth paradox. Declining birth rates, rising national debt, decreasing human capital. It's a worrying trend.
And there's more, isn't there? Something about digital control.
Oh, yeah. The digital massive control over future generations. Basically, too much screen time leading to behavioral disadvantages, even signs of aging in young people.
Aging. Like physiologically.
The sources cite experts like Dr. Kimberly Young on internet addiction, suggesting these manifestations. It's quite alarming.
And this brings us to a really critical point those sources make. They flat out suggest our minds are being psychologically manipulated.
Right.
This manipulation, they argue, creates this widespread sense of stress and confusion, a miserable self-image, and what they call a straitened life.
Deprived of peace of mind.
Exactly. Even if you're wealthy. If you turn away from what the sources term admonition, which sounds like, divine guidance or core moral principles.
It's a pretty stark diagnosis of where we're at collectively.
It really is. So how do we understand this better?
Well, The sources suggest we need to see the human mind as a system, a complex one.
Okay.
Our psyche, they propose, is like a processor for creating value. Its performance depends on how the brain, the hardware, uses its functions and skills for problem solving.
Makes sense.
And it's not random. Our individual minds, these unique loops, they function within a larger collective consciousness. Carl Jung's ideas are influential here.
Right, Joan. Collective unconscious archetypes.
Exactly. And the material highlights two main ways we process info: sensory, tangible, past, physical reality.
Stuff you can touch and see.
Right. And then intuitive, invisible, future-oriented, abstract visions.
The gut feelings, the big ideas.
And similarly, two decision styles: intellectual thinking and emotional thinking. Plus, different energy sources. Introverts recharge alone. Extroverts sometimes, surprisingly, drain energy sleeping and need connection upon waking.
That's interesting about extroverts. So how does this all connect back to innovation, that aha moment?
Well, the sources argue that all creativity is done, therefore, by teams. Could be a small team, could be that creative chaos of thousands of minds.
Seemingly independent, but building something balanced together.
Precisely. They mentioned the Nokia simulation experiment.
Ah, yes. What happened there?
Key was the integrity of internal communication and seeing differences not as problems, but as enrichment of the process. That's where the aha moment came, leading to peak innovation speed.
So facing stress helped them rediscover their true selves, in a way.
That's the idea. The core message is powerful. We are all born to be innovators.
Okay, so if we're all innovators, the question is,
What kind of innovators are we? What's our capacity? How do we share it? And the source suggests it comes down to our cognitive code.
our mental blueprint.
Exactly. Knowledge, skills, experience, ethics, values, motivations, social skills, the whole package.
But there are barriers, right? The things that get in the way.
Oh, definitely. And the sources introduce this concept of the seque.
Seque. What on earth is that?
It's not just people. It's described as this entrenched system, a mix of roles, opportunities, work culture, ego, all working to protect the status quo.
So like institutional inertia, but personified almost.
Kind of. They work anonymously, the source says. Hard to hold responsible. They master the power and art of status quo preservation, often by inventing big changes that are promised but never actually happen.
The illusion of progress.
Exactly. And this seque intransigence, this cultural rigidity, is cited as a key reason for, say, Finland's resistance to change and why its flexicurity model apparently failed.
But the source also poses a question back to us, doesn't it?
It does. Is it just these Sikis causing disappointment? Or it asks, are you maybe expecting too much, making yourself liable for the letdowns?
It's a challenging thought. Put some responsibility back on the individual's perspective.
It certainly complicates the picture.
Okay, so we've got this modern paradox. Growth, but growing despair. We've got internal mental systems, external systemic barriers like the Seiki. Where do the sources point for a solution?
This is where it gets really fascinating. The sources pivot towards a, well, very specific blueprint. Remember the cardiac surgeon turned system analyst?
Yeah, his journey.
He explains his mission was to use IT capabilities to solve chronic human problems, to find a balance between economic and social well-being. His Maestro solution aims for healthy digitization.
Okay, balancing tech with humanity.
Right. But then comes this central assertion, and it's quite profound. He contends that an individual's practice of Islam is a solution to achieving growth in a society based on science.
Wow. Okay, unpack that. Islam as a solution for scientific societal growth.
Yes, a scientocracy, as the source puts it, a means for balanced and sustainable social, financial, moral, and mental growth. It's positioned as directly addressing that new Trinity problem we talked about.
So this framework is presented as the core of a sustainable, maybe that multidimensional economy we mentioned earlier.
That seems to be the argument. Islam isn't just presented as religion here, but as an actual operating system for the human psyche.
An operating system, like software for the mind.
That's the analogy used, designed to tackle these challenges and foster that sustainable growth model. The Quran itself is described as a miracle, with mathematical encryption, every word perfectly encoded.
Mathematically encrypted.
That's the claim. And it supposedly speaks directly to the reader, using your own knowledge, considering your life as if you were the only person.
That sounds incredibly personal.
It does. And its teachings, the sources argue, help the mind create healthy dynamics, daily habits, an autopilot for mood stability.
Leading to inner security, harmony, independence.
Exactly. The source even brings in neuroscience, mentioning the corpus callosum, the bridge between brain hemispheres.
How did that connect?
It suggests the Quran's teachings help bridge the right brain's intuitive, spiritual side with the left brain's tangible, logical side, fostering a more integrated, harmonious mental state.
Okay, so that's the theory. What about practical applications? How does this create a sustainable human?
The sources lay it out quite clearly using the 5 pillars of Islam. They're presented not just as duties, but as a range of programs.
Jump forward, Em.
Yeah, programs to develop the muscles, the ability to love needed for inner peace and societal contribution, or paradise, as the source terms it.
Okay, give me an example.
Prayer, salat, described as regular purification of the soul. It organizes life to be part of cosmic harmony, calming and recharging. It embodies the whole framework, apparently. Turning to Kaaba, like Hajj, devoting time effort, like zakat, abstaining like fasting, glorifying God.
Interesting. What about zakat, the charity?
It's framed as an obligatory movement of wealth that directly counters the New Trinity's fear of losing your job, your income, by being seen as pure investment to God. This act, the source claims, strengthens the psyche against fear, insecurity, hate, jealousy, anger. They even mention role models like Mahmoud al-Arabi and Dr. Mashali, who apparently built sustainable welfare through this sincerity.
And fasting, Ramadan.
Called the factory reset for the psyche, it gives the soul an advance over the body and material pressure. That New Trinity again.
Reset. And Hajj, the pilgrimage.
The rituals, like wearing ihram, are highlighted for eliminating any trace of wealth or class status. Everyone becomes equal, fosters unity.
And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, how does he fit in?
He's presented as the miracle, the ultimate role model of a confident, loving self. Someone who could wear all the hats, remain confident always, never surprised.
How so?
His behavior is cited bringing people together, honoring nobles, always seeking a balanced course. A living example for personal and collective balance.
So it's a very comprehensive personal development framework presented through the lens of Islam.
Exactly. But it doesn't stop at the individual. The sources extend this blueprint to societal sustainability, too.
How does that work?
Using a very modern metaphor, actually, marriage is described as a living, shifting ride.
Okay.
Like a co-innovation MVP or being co-founders for life's wild startup.
Wow, co-innovation MVP for marriage. That's a new one.
It emphasizes partnership, adaptation, shared growth, problem solving. Spouses are garments for one another, supporting, completing each other.
So challenges aren't failures, but
opportunities for adaptation within the co-innovation team. It stresses shared values, character, and how differences can complement each other.
It reframes marriage significantly.
It does. And ultimately, the sources sum up Islam itself as saying no.
No
to what? No to Satan and no to your own selfish ego. Resisting desires, controlling yourself to be truly free.
The dictatorial ego.
Right. It's seen as present in everyone, pushing desires even if they're harmful. Mankind's role, then, is being God's vicegerents on earth.
Stewards, with freedom to create.
Yes, free to create and decide, but within a contract with God, leading to fulfillment described as heaven. And this all builds towards what the source calls the X-harmony factor.
X-harmony factor. Sounds like the ultimate goal.
It's presented that way. The genius concept, driving love, understanding, cooperation, balance, peace. It's the soul realizing its purpose, achieving unconditional love.
And this leads to inner joy.
A state the source describes quite vividly as constant euphoria, like an orgasm in the head, deep contentment and peace.
That's a strong description.
It is, but it's presented not just as a feeling, but a functional state crucial for both personal well-being and for driving that sustainable human and socioeconomy we've been discussing.
So tying it all together, what does this mean for you, the listener? Our deep dive today, it's really stretched the usual definitions, hasn't it? Economics, well-being, spirituality.
Definitely.
It presents this world where mental health, society, the economy, they aren't separate boxes. They're deeply interwoven.
Intricately linked.
And it really challenges us to rethink our own operating system for life. maybe moving towards that more multidimensional way of thinking about value that the sources suggest.
Which brings up a pretty direct question, doesn't it? If this blueprint, this potential software update for the psyche is laid out so meticulously,
Right.
how much time do you still need to decide if you want to install it? Are you ready to embrace that balance, that X-harmony factor this perspective offers?
Ready to turn challenges into opportunities for, well, love and self-discovery, as the source puts it.
Exactly.
Like a powerful thought, isn't it? That maybe true wisdom lies in understanding ourselves, our minds, our place in the universe, just as deeply as we try to understand business models or tech innovations.
A different kind of knowledge economy, perhaps.
Perhaps. Well, until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep striving for that balance.